I wish more of us. I just wish more of our parents instilled that at least that seed into my head. Like, you don't have to find a job. You can actually just create your own job.
A hustle is not a business, right? And I think a lot of times in what has been sold to us in internet culture, in the Western world, has been this hustle mentality. But honestly, if you look back at history, our community has been more collaborative.
Bensound.com.
To another episode of Sankofa Sessions.
Burr.
I am your co-host, Kofi Annan, along with
Kofi D. I think we're a mutual host. Co-host. Yeah. I think I ran out of joint host.
Right. Okay, there you go.
Joint host. In the mix together, whatever way you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. How you doing today?
What's good? What's going on with this sweater though, man?
Man, I don't know. You know, they said old men wear polo, so shout out to the bear. Because, you know, they say old men will not dress, so we wear polo. So, you know, it's cold out here. I'm going to keep the hoodie on. It makes me feel warm. And
oh, Christmassy though, man.
Yeah, it's a little Christmassy.
It's a little Christmassy.
Don't worry, though. I have a Christmas outfit for you guys. Right?
We doing Christmas outfits?
I am going to be Black Santa Claus. Right? I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I'm going to be Black Saint Nick.
I can't top that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. You can.
Oh, man.
You can be something. You could be another Christmas character.
Nah, you're making me work now. You going all out. You gonna be Santa.
I don't know. You could be Rudolph or something. I don't know. You can put that. You know, they got them inflatable costumes. You could be like, you know how they got the T-Rex? They got the Rudolph one too.
What was a serious episode? We can't be talking about nothing serious.
Oh my God! It doesn't always have to be serious, Kofi.
Well, it definitely can't be serious if I'm sitting here with a Rudolph outfit on. Man.
Yeah, I mean, people.
Oh yeah, we definitely got. We got.
You know what? Next Halloween, we should dress as our favorite black characters.
All right.
I'm gonna dress as Uncle Ruckus. No, I'm joking. Yeah. No, please don't cancel me. No. I think I don't know. I might dress as like somebody profound.
You know, I never really got into Boondocks. I might be the only one, but
yeah. I'm the same way with many black shows though. Like I was never into Insecure. I was never into.
No, that was a woman's show. Like, you weren't supposed to be into it.
I mean, everybody talked about it. If you
said you was into it, I'd be like,
you would judge me?
I might have judged you a little bit.
Look, I thought love is love, though.
I watched it because my wife watched it.
But the thing is, you watched it. You have a concept of it. I never watched it. I just know Issa Rae was on there.
Yeah.
I never was into Power. I just started watching Power like when it went off like 8 years ago.
You know what?
I watched like season 4 of the original Power.
I watched a couple seasons, and then I just got tired of. You know what I got tired of?
Ghost.
I got tired of. This might be. I just got tired of why all these black shows always got gangsters and drug sellers,
drugs, crime, and crime, like, sneakers.
Come on, man. I got tired of that.
I
got tired of that. You know, it was a good show. The acting was good. You know, everybody was good, but it was just like I just got tired of that concept. Just constantly being like,
yeah, I understand.
Fed down our throats.
I mean, there's a lot of black shows I could tell you. Like, before we get into the serious topic, let's do a list. You can say yay or nay. All right, Family Matters.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Different World.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can think about it.
Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go a little bit more obscure. I'm gonna go UPN. You got okay now.
All
not all of us. See, he had cable growing up. Right?
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Okay. One on One.
Hey, One on One.
That was Flex Alexander and Kyla Pratt. See, I'm going. See.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
Okay, what about the Hughley Show?
Yeah. I watched that a little bit.
Okay. All right. What about Bernie Mac?
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
I had to watch.
Okay.
If anybody
America,
hates,
I'm gonna tell you something. Let me
some
tell you something.
Him said him want some milk and cookies.
Everybody hates Chris.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
See, you know, I didn't start watching that until recently.
Really?
I did not watch Everybody Hates Chris.
You watch what's the new show they got? He got when he's a teacher.
Abbott Elementary. Watched 2 episodes of it.
Really?
Only my girl watches it. That's what I'm saying.
A good show. That's a good show.
You know, what's another? Come on now, I need help from. We can go classic. Good Times.
Oh yeah. Good
Can you sing the theme song?
No, I'm not doing it. You almost got me.
It is in our culture.
It came out and I was like, no, what am I doing? It was
making the way if we can. Go ahead.
Sanford and Son?
No. You supposed to hit temporary layoff.
Good times. All right. That was it. That's it.
Why is it that when somebody start humming the Good Times, we got to say the real part? Temporary layoff, good time, easy cradle rip off, good time, yeah. We lucky we got him.
Look, see, I said I wasn't gonna do it.
I told you it's in your soul. Everybody does the. I remember that Chappelle Show episode. He was like, "Can you finish the Good Times song?" And everybody was like, they knew the. They couldn't finish it.
Oh
yeah. Because it's a part where you can't understand the words, but it goes.
There's a lot of stuff like that when you're looking back now. It's like, yeah,
I don't know.
When you actually find out the words, is that what they be saying?
Yeah. Okay. Chappelle Show. Did you watch it?
Oh yes.
Okay. Key and Peele.
Of course.
Okay. I never watched Key and Peele. I know a few. I know the Obama one. He was like, "Oh, bring it in, brother." I was like, "That's all we got." That's I know that one. And
they have some classics too.
Okay.
Some classics too.
Okay.
I think that they're probably up there with Chappelle Show.
Okay.
Even though I put Chappelle over them because Chappelle birthed them.
I get that. So before we get into today's topics, a couple of things we definitely gotta acknowledge and highlight. Number one, HBCUs. I see my brother Kofi over there. Got on HBCU. What school is that?
Tennessee University. TSU.
Okay, TSU. Shout out to TSU. Y'all, I remember y'all had Eddie George there last year. I know he went on to bigger and better things, but y'all had Eddie George there for a couple years, right?
Yeah, he did his thing. He did his thing out there, you know. He moved on this year. You know, we rebuilded, you know, so kind of starting from scratch. But yeah, we got some things to look forward to. You know, y'all got North for say.
Yeah, shout out to I don't have normally I would have my beanie on
so
at
we
least.
Should have coordinated. Should have told you to bring your
I know. I only got.
Did it last week was homecoming.
It was. I wasn't there though because you know I'm trying to you know, anybody that knows me, I got a daughter that needs a car, so I'm trying to save her for her car. And homecoming has become an expensive endeavor. You know now, they have homecoming tickets on Afterpay.
Wait.
Yes, you can Afterpay your homecoming events. Like you could pay as you go. Seriously, that's how expensive it's gotten now. Klarna.
So how much are the tickets?
I mean, not the game. I'm talking about the parties.
That's crazy.
They got. I mean, some of the VIP packages is running like $200-300, and then they got events each day. So you spending like maybe I would say $250 a day just to get in. That's not even bottle service or anything.
That's wild.
And you know us, we got to sit on the counter with a bottle. You know what I'm saying? You know.
You remember the clubs when you didn't need to? You could actually sit down in the club without paying for a VIP section.
Yes, I'm a millennial, so I was the last era. My age group was the last era, I think, of real club where you went to dance and mingle and stuff like that too. I was telling one of my friends, or matter of fact, I actually was telling my daughter, shout out to her, she's going to Kennesaw State. She's down in Atlanta, and I was telling her, I said, what y'all do now versus what we were doing down in Atlanta? I was like, we had a ball on a budget, where now it's like, everybody's like, They you know they having fun in their own right. I don't want to sound like that old fart, but you know. So shout out to Tennessee State, Norfolk State, HBCUs. Also, while we're on the topic of HBCUs, we also got to shout out this beautiful black-owned bookstore. Our brother Demetrius, Resist Booksellers. Thank you again for hosting our podcast.
In Petersburg.
Right here in Petersburg. His link and the link to the shop will be down in the bio. And if you listen to this on Spotify, Apple, Google, or however you get your podcast, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and also give us some ideas on how we can make this thing better. And anybody that we bring up as vendors, they also got an online website. So guess what you could do? You could support them. So if you like black-owned bookstores, you want to support, a local business, come on, order from Resist Booksellers. So what are we doing today, right?
Today the topic of discussion is Black entrepreneurship. So
good times.
Yes, good times, good times. So like the idea behind the what inspired me to have this conversation is that I'm a black entrepreneur. You're a black entrepreneur. We've all, we're here in a black-owned establishment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what occurred to me is that there are a lot of, like we move different. Like we have similar struggles. We have different pathways than your average white-owned establishment, and we do it for different reasons. And we do it differently. Period. Like we a lot of times we bring ourselves into it. We bring our past into it. We bring our culture into it. So like for myself, I had a restaurant, Soul Rebel, and I brought my culture into that. Like it was a Caribbean American fusion restaurant. So we're doing the oxtails and the jerk chicken and all that type of stuff. And everywhere you look, the culture was part of the business.
Yes.
And that's not a unique thing. A lot of black businesses. You see that in there, So I just thought it was, I thought it was different. I thought it was something that was worth a conversation, and so I think we should get into that.
Yeah, because I think, and I'm not gonna say people don't understand, but one of the things that is overlooked is how entrepreneurship has been the lifeblood of the black community, whether it's been in the diaspora or in the continent, because we have been economically excluded a lot of times from the traditional industries up until fairly recently. And even then, when we've been included, we make up such a small proportion of it that we don't even have any economic power to really make a force in it. You have ones and twosies that do things, but at the same time, you only go as far as the group a lot of times. You could be a trailblazer, but oftentimes you go together. When you go together as a collective, you make more of an impact. So I think that's been overlooked in our culture, is that now I know it's sexy to be an entrepreneur. What's the first thing you see on Instagram? Oh, I do my own thing with it. I'm an entrepreneur, but what is that, right? Oh man, I be doing me, but what is that? I be doing my thing, but once again, what is that? Right? And how has that, like, the sense and the essence of entrepreneurship is not something new. It started way back when, right?
Yeah, so I think it's important to acknowledge that this is going all the way back to Africa, colonialism, pre-colonialism. Even though the systems didn't look exactly like pure capitalism, that the way we would describe it today. These were economic systems, if you want to call it entrepreneurship or whatever. But the idea of selling your merchandise, whether it was whatever it is, these systems existed way back then. Colonialism disrupted all of that and made and created these systems that exploited the African people. And so they were pretty much from the time of colonialism till now are basically working in a system that was not designed for them to succeed. Here are the similarities to here in America and parts of the diaspora. Those same systems were meant to exploit and not to include black people all over the diaspora as well as Africa. And so the commonality is that we all, from all different parts of the diaspora, are all been kind of creating and building businesses out of necessity For one, because we didn't have the same access to the resources and things like that that a lot of most of the white people did, and also we did it despite odds that were stacked against us. We didn't have access to capital funding. We
That's
still
true.
a lot of ways don't have the same access to capital funding. We don't have access to generational wealth. We don't have access to banking systems and things like that. And across the diaspora, we're still struggling up against uphill in a lot of these areas.
That is true, and I completely agree with you. When it comes to how entrepreneurship has played a role throughout history, I think one thing that can't be overlooked is the role it played in freedom. A lot of especially during the times when you had a free man population. So what I'm talking about is during slavery, right? When some people gained their rights, a lot of times those people who gained their freedom were artisans. They were people who had specific skills. They were blacksmiths. They were leather makers. They were quote unquote tradesmen, because not only let's be real with you, you couldn't be a free man and a bum. Right. And when I use the term free man, I'm also including women, right, as well, because a lot of times those men had wives and children, right, which that freedom extended to them as well, right? Sometimes it didn't, sometimes it did. It was a case by case basis. But you just can be walking around and be like, "What you doing there, boy?" "I'm just chilling." No. You had to have a craft, and you can read the accounts of like black or blacksmiths, black leather workers, black, like I said, bookkeepers and things like that, because these people weren't just free for freedom's sake. They was free because they also provided an invaluable skill to the population of that town, that city or village, right? So entrepreneurship was also a vehicle for freedom, right? You talk about Benjamin Banneker and all these other people who they got their freedom not only because they were just, their master let them go. They were skilled at their craft.
Right. I went to Benjamin. Did you know I went to Benjamin Banneker High School?
No, I didn't know.
A little nugget for the day.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Benjamin Banneker. Shout out to Banneker High School in DC.
What was y'all mascot? Was it just a black face? I'm joking, please.
No, it's funny. I laugh because, like, we were called the bookworms. So, like,
what? That was the mascot. Was it a worm coming through a book?
We were at academic high school, right?
Okay.
Right. So, like, it was a public school, but it was treated like a charter school.
Okay,
right?
like a magnet school.
Yeah, it's like one of those magnet schools, right? So, like, people joked to call us the Banneker bookworms.
Y'all were terrible at sports, right?
We were terrible at sports.
Yeah.
I think we were officially the achievers, which I don't know which is worse. But like we didn't actually have like a mascot.
That's just like not a magnet school, but it's just like in Norfolk, right across from Norfolk State, you have Booker T. Washington High School, and they're the Bookers. They're like literally that's their mascot, the Bookers. Right? Shout out to Booker T. I used to go there a lot and recruit when I was in the military or whatever. I used to recruit a lot over there to the ROTC program and things like that at Norfolk State. But like their thing is the Bookers. So I was curious to see, were you guys the Bannekers?
We're the bookworms.
The bookworm, right?
The bookworms.
The bookworms, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, shout out to them.
Yeah, we passed out. We went to college though. So
hey, that's all that mattered.
Yeah, we got good grades on our SATs.
But going back to the entrepreneurship discussion, it was also a lifeblood for, like I said, freedom. So that has morphed into, guess what? When we actually were free during Jim Crow, we had to have our own communities. And I think this is one of the times, this is one of the times I think black people, we need to go back and study. There was, and everybody knows it now, there was Black Wall Street, there was Jackson Ward in Richmond, there was hundreds of places in
Halifax Triangle
in Petersburg. Shout out to Petersburg. There were so many places across the nation that segregated black people had that were thriving communities. Now they're gone.
Yeah.
Purposely and not purposely.
So I only know about. Okay, so first of all, up until recently, I only knew about the Tulsa. You know, that was the only one that I.
You didn't know
But
about Jackson Ward?
I did just not
Really?
up until the last couple of years. I didn't know.
Okay.
Like the only Black Wall Street that I ever heard about was Tulsa. But come to find out, there were a lot of Black Wall Streets.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of places, but as far as I know, they were all intentionally targeted. You know, like they were all intentionally targeted for destruction. Jackson Ward was targeted by I-95.
Yeah, they had
You know,
I-95 that,
yeah.
yeah.
And so I don't know the story. I don't know, enough to like go down the list. But yeah, they're as far as I know, like they were all like all the ones that I know about were all targeted for intentionally for destruction. Is that what you
Yeah,
heard or know or?
yeah. That is what I was alluding to, and thank you for that segue. Is that we need to? They always say a person that doesn't subscribe to history is a fool because you can definitely learn from the past, right? I know I messed up that quote, but feel me on it. That is such a unique time, and I think in African American and Black American, whatever we want, FBA, whatever we want to be today, right? Culture, I think it needs to be studied because we were very self-reliant. The black dollar circulated multiple times. Always laugh. There was a show on Netflix years ago, Killer Mike Trigger Warning. You ever seen it?
Yeah.
Did you see the episode when he tried to live black only?
I think so.
Okay, and he couldn't do it because it was funny because he was there and his producer was like, "Put that bottle of water down. Black people don't produce water." He was like, "Damn." He was about to get in his car. He was like, "It's not a black car." So and this man was living in Atlanta now. We're talking about Wakanda, as black people like to call Atlanta, Wakanda. He had to find a black bus company to get him to Macon to do a show.
I saw this.
He had the dang on sleep on the bench because there were no black hotels, which I know there's some black hotels in Atlanta. There has to be something. He probably didn't want to stay at the Hojo or something. But I know there was some black hotels there, right? He had a hard time trying to find a black grocery store. The only people that had it was NOI. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. So you can imagine how hard it is. But that wasn't that long ago, Kofi. Yeah. We're not talking about 300 years. We're talking about within the lifespan of some of our elders, we went from being self-sufficient to now being reliant on a system that doesn't allow our black dollar to circulate. Why is that?
So I think part of it was we aren't encouraged to go into entrepreneurship. It wasn't until into my late 20s that I even thought about starting a business. You know, if I and really, and it wasn't until my late 40s that I really jumped out there. You know, and really did something substantial. But at that point, you're already well into your career. You know, so a lot of people, you get told as a kid, grow up, go to school, get a job. Grow up, go to school, get a job, and then you take that job and you ride it out till you're 60, then you retire. I wish more of us. I just wish more of our parents instilled that at least that seed into my head. Like you don't have to find a job. You can actually just create your own job. You know, at least that should be. You should at least have a side hustle or something like that. You know, until just in case one day you don't want to put up with your bull. Whatever your boss is throwing down your throat, because it's gonna happen.
One thing you mentioned, then I would love that point because not to get sidetracked, a hustle is not a business, right? And I think a lot of times in what has been sold to us in internet culture in the Western world has been this hustle mentality. But honestly, if you look back at history, our community has been more collaborative. We've been more collaborative, relying on each other than just our pure hustle and grind. I can do it by myself. And I think that's a disconnect between what our roots are and what the world and what the modern society is telling us. And I think a lot of times for us in the diaspora, it's almost like our essence, it's almost like our our fallback. I'm looking for the word. It's almost like our instincts are being derooted from us because
to not
collaborate.
I don't necessarily.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't associate that thought process with a side hustle because to me, a side hustle is just you never know when it could become your main thing. But at least you're developing it and you're working on it on the side, and then maybe it takes off. Maybe it doesn't, but at least you're not solely dependent on your job.
Understood.
You know,
Understood.
so but that could be done in a collaborative way.
Yeah, but why not a business instead of a hustle? And I'm not saying side hustle per se.
Maybe it's just the way up. Maybe it's just the term.
No, but it's a thing. It's a thing. If I could, hustle culture, and hey, y'all down in the chat and the comments, you guys back me up on this if you can. Right, there is a new dynamic of hustle culture. Work as hard as you can by yourself to get as much as you can. That's something that's going on now, right? And you see that very prevalent on the internet. The thing is, number one, you're not promoting a business because if I'm hustling by myself, I just created another job for myself. I didn't really create a business, right? I just created another job that's not going to do anything. And then the second part of that is I am not encouraging, it's not encouraging to work well with others. Now I get what you're saying. You're doing it in the benign sense, like, hey, man, I'm just going to create this to get extra income. I think I'm looking at it from a cultural sense. It's like, are what you building sustainable, repeatable, and God forbid if something happened to you, could somebody fill your shoes? I may be thinking about it too big. I think I'm a little bit too wide.
But I think
pull me in.
I think you can get there. You might not start off there. You know, I think especially depending on what you're doing. You know, maybe today you're just making some T-shirts on the side, but then, you know, maybe a year from now you're making some pants, and then maybe you're making some hoodies, and then maybe and then so start off as like a little something that you just kind of doing in your basement, but then maybe eventually you need a warehouse and a storefront and whatever, you know. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's the way I'm thinking about it when I say side hustle that could grow into something else.
No, I agree. I encourage more of our brothers and sisters to go into entrepreneurship because, to be honest with you, we've sold the dream of university for well over 50 years. And we have a lot of black children that have a lot of degrees. But guess what they also got? A lot of damn debt.
A lot of debt. Yeah, that ain't enough to pay off.
They ain't enough to pay off
them. That student, they got a job that ain't paying off that debt.
They got a lot to pay off and things like that. So one of the things we talked about earlier was the genesis of entrepreneurship, but there was a concerted effort to stop it, right? They didn't want African Americans or FBA, whatever we call ourselves today. They didn't want us to be entrepreneurs. There was a concerted effort, like there was I don't want to use that term, the man, but during a large part of our history, there was government policies that didn't allow black people to run their own businesses. We had to have juke joints and speakeasies and things like that. So that's why when people talk about, well, why are black people so prone to illicit activities? Well, I mean, we know better now, but back then, anything we did was illicit activities.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely the case. No, I definitely think a lot of these businesses went against the grain. So it's like it was illegal, and then even when it became legal, it was discouraged. It was discouraged by the powers to be, the man, whoever. And so I think our parents internalized that same thought process and said, like, no, you just go to school, get a job. Go to school, get a job. We couldn't see ourselves as the owner, the business owner. It was hard for could you imagine our parents envisioning themselves being the boss, the owner, the business owner, when you don't have nothing, you know.
That's true.
If you're coming from nothing, for some people at least, the most they could envision is finding a good job where they're working for somebody. They could never envision themselves, you know, owning a building or owning a business and things like that. Now, a lot did, as we said, you know, a lot of people did, but that had to go against the grain. And you know what I also think another part of this too that kind of fed into that the creation of these Black Wall Streets and things like that was these were done during segregation, right? And so one of the good things that honestly that came out of segregation is that we weren't allowed to go shopping over there in the white communities or associating with the whites. So we just shopped and did things amongst ourselves. So like integration in a way kind of is good and bad.
Yeah, it dissolved it dissolves our self-reliance.
Right, exactly.
It dissolves our self-reliance. But the good thing that did come out of that, right, because with darkness there is light, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always two sides to a coin. The people who kept the entrepreneurship going on, they became even bigger in business, right? I hate to use athletes because I got to go back to a Boondocks episode. I think all black people is good at is selling sweat. But that's another thing too. Like we've been able to expand our businesses globally, right? You look at like the Dangotes in Nigeria, who is one of the richest black men on the nation. You look at Robert. He's oil and natural resources, right?
Okay.
You look at Robert F. Smith, who runs one of the largest private equity firms. He is the richest black man. But I bet you if you go around and ask anybody, they'd be like, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is in the top 5, I believe. I think he's like number 3 or 4. I think him, Oprah, and Jay-Z are like round out. But I think it's Robert F. Smith and Dangote when it comes to, and I think there's a couple other too that round out the top 10 of black billionaires. But we've been able to expand. So we weren't limited just to the Black Wall Streets and the Tulsas and, you know, the various areas in Detroit and other, you know, Jackson, Mississippi, other black urban populations. We were able to expand across the world. My question to you is, though, Kofi, right? It's somebody that's traveled and is very worldly, right?
Mm-hmm.
What has been the benefit of that expansion, but at the same time, what has been some of the drawbacks? Do you feel like we're as connected to the culture because some of our highest achievers have elevated to like heights we couldn't imagine maybe 50, 60 years ago? Do you think it's still connected in the quote unquote culture?
Do you think that are you saying the ones that have the ones that have achieved a lot, are they connected to the rest of the community? Is that
do you, so you know, once, like I'll frame it better. Once upon a time, entrepreneurship was like a direct link to the community, right? And it still is. But there has been certain people who have ascended, to higher levels. Seeing all that, right? Do you feel like those people who ascend to the higher levels, not even the billionaires, but even like the high millionaires and even the millionaires, do you feel like they're connected and rooted in the culture still? Since they don't have to rely on us solely for business.
That's a good question. I would say generally yes, and this is without any actual data or anything to back this up, so bear with me. But I would say generally yes, because I think at least the ones that I know, that I can think of top of my head, generally they're doing something of the culture. You know, you talk about Jordan. Jordan is as much a part as Jordan brand is built by black culture.
Yeah, but
right?
Republicans buy sneakers too.
Right.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, there's that, you know.
Okay.
But like, you know, musicians, athletes, like a lot of these ones that you know, Oprah. I mean, like Oprah is
Oprah culture? Is Oprah part of the culture?
By the way, speaking of which, you know she's a TSU alum.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to TSU.
I didn't even plan that.
See, look at you, right?
But yeah. So I mean, I think a lot of the ones that become millionaires and things like that. I don't know but do we consider athletes and musicians business?
Yeah, I mean they're on the Forbes list, right?
They are
They're on the Forbes list. They are
yeah.
entrepreneurs. I mean, like LeBron James, he has businesses outside of just him being an athlete.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure I'm probably just overlooking a lot of people that aren't athletes and musicians and things like that I might not be thinking of top of my head right now. What's that guy that gave all that money to
Robert
Morehouse?
Smith.
Robert Smith.
Robert Smith, yeah.
He's just an investor, right?
Yeah, he's a private equity guy.
Private equity.
Yeah, private equity.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of him before. Before he did that, So shout out to him for doing that. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people like him that I just can't think of.
I think if I could, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but trouble is subjective, right? If your mama tell you not to do something, maybe she just didn't want you to do it at the time, but do it later, right? Those people who are quote unquote affluent, right? You don't have a job to give back to the black community. Let's give that a misnomer. As much as I want that to happen, it ain't always gonna happen, right? You have to have a philanthropic heart. Ooh, that's a big word.
That's a big one.
That's a big word, right? I be reading this shit.
Read?
Yeah, I be reading this shit. The books be hard, son. It be hard. You have to have that in you, because if it's not in you, you're not gonna do it, right? But you don't have to. But if you do, I think you have to make sure that you do something to keep you grounded in the culture. And when people say the culture, there's a lot more black people that are like, I won't say at the bottom, but are struggling in middle class, working class, and in poverty than it is you. And people say white people are like that too, but if you look at the numbers, it's skewed. If you look at black net worth versus white net worth and the other races, it's skewed so widely with us, where there's so many people that are not worth anything monetarily, and then you have people who ascend to a high net worth. If you do have the heart to do it, I think that you have to connect with the culture, like Robert F. Smith did, right? Like a couple of others, prominent black people have done. So I think you have to connect there. But I mean, I'm proud of us as black people, because from the Jackson Wards and the Black Wall Streets, we have global businesses now that are major players in many arenas, and you don't see that a lot.
Do you think there could be another Black Wall Street?
No.
Why not?
Because we don't get along. I'm just being real. I just think that collaboration's gotten better, but I don't think that I don't think collaboration's not out of necessity. Let's be real, right? Let's be real. And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I don't know why it's like this with black people, but when we have to band together to fight something, we go with reckless abandon. But when we don't have to do something, we take our sweet time. It's like this, right? HBCUs were champions, not in sports, but the best of the best black minds went to HBCUs when segregation was there, right?
See, that goes back to that segregation issue.
Okay, right? It goes back to segregation, right? Yeah. Now,
are we promoting segregation?
No, I'm not promoting segregation, right? I like white ice. I'm joking. I like white ice cream too, right? It's okay. It was just a joke, right? I like everybody, I like all human beings. But we have to understand this. When we have more options, we tend to go outside of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We just have the propensity to do it. I don't know why. Why is it like that?
Yeah, no, I think that's something that's intentional. I think we have been trained as a society to look up to white brands. So like even if those same white brands are taking things from black culture.
So what is the pull? What is the pull of those brands, right?
It's the idea that white is superior, right? And so white products are superior. So if I'm from your community, mm-hmm. and I make a pair of jeans or whatever, and like you think it's dope, whatever, but if Louis Vuitton make the same jeans, it's like, ooh, that's the one that that's the status symbol.
So if Louis
You know,
Vuitton makes some shoes the same as the same exact model as Shaq shoes, you're not gonna clown me for wearing the Shaq shoes? You know Shaq with him dunking on it. The ones you see in
but I
the
think
ones you see in Roses and Family Dollar. You gonna joke with me with some Shaq shoes? That's
I
a
mean,
black
but,
man.
But okay, so Shaq, that's not the best example because
You don't like Shaq shoes?
because Shaq is Shaq. Shaq, there's no centers don't sell shoes. I mean,
Oh my God!
Shaq,
But he's a
you know
black
what, though?
man.
But you know what though? Shaq actually sells more shoes than anybody else. I mean, they're cheaper, but yeah, actual just pure numbers. Shaq's shoes actually
Yeah, he
sells more
does.
anyway. But the point is, it's like there is a stigma attached with black brands that we still think that black is inferior, and if it's a white, especially if it's a white European brand, like we're all over it,
Yeah.
like, and we'll promote it and we'll everything else, but like nah,
That's why, like, and I say this, and we're gonna talk more about the push and pull. I think it's so ingrained in us that we don't even know what we're doing half the time. That's why personally I'll say this, and people are gonna get mad. I don't participate in black boycotts anymore when it comes to like not buying stuff. I still go to Target.
Yeah,
I still go to Target. Hey, we ain't gonna hurt Target. What we gonna do?
I mean,
It's a principle thing. I get it.
They've been hurt.
Yeah, but that was more of the LGBTQ. When they pulled that in, and once again, when we have to band together, we do better. But I don't know if there's been any existential crisis to black people that has band us together in a way that really makes a movement. And I'll say the last time that happened, not to get off topic, was probably like Million Man March, maybe during the 90s.
No, I would say the Black Lives Matter movement
Really?
was probably I mean, granted, we weren't the only ones out there, but like that was a genuine movement. The Million Man March was great, but it was a day. Nobody knows what happened after that. Like the Black Lives Matter, even though the Black Lives Matter movement didn't have the outcomes that we hoped, but part of the reason why we're boycotting Target is because they pledged like X billions of dollars, like $12 billion or something like that, to support black brands, black owned businesses.
Yeah.
Here we go again, right? And then they pulled that.
Because of corporate interests. That we went from having Joe Biden to Donald Trump. Not trying to simplify, but we had somebody who was very heavily promoting DEI policies, and we had somebody who was like, "Hey, if you say anything DEI, I'm gonna cut you."
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it turns out because of this, they actually lost a lot more money during the boycott than they would if they just given us the $12 billion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think we demonstrated that we've had the power to influence corporate America because of things like that, and regardless of if whether or not that translates into other areas, whether we will. It's one thing to boycott, there's another thing to support. Like, instead of, I wish we had a black version of Target that we could then support.
Yeah, because then the money's going to go to Amazon. Right? We're going to go to Amazon and you're going to go to Jeff Bezos. Not saying he's a racist or anything. I wouldn't say that, right? But then it just goes to something else. Like, and that's my point. And I'm not trying to negate the collective idea. And I don't hate on the BLM movement. Personally, I feel like it was a little bit more fragmented than it was together.
It was.
I felt like there was so many different voices and veins of things. And then even with BLM, I don't want to get into that. But it's one of the things that, and the reason why I'm so sold on that Million Man March, that time frame, because maybe it's nostalgia for me. I felt like during that time, you saw more people say, "Hey, how you doing, brother? What's going on, brother? Oh, this is my brother." There was a sense of black awareness and black collectivism during that time, because there was a voice, there was a sense of pride, and we were working together. Versus now, and even the entrepreneurship, going back to the entrepreneurship thing, what is the pull to draw black people to entrepreneurship, but reinvest those dividends into our community? And what's going to push people into becoming entrepreneurs and giving back into their community, because that's the only way. Like, for instance, we're in Resist Booksellers. Shout out to Resist Booksellers. The only way he keeps the lights on is if we support him. Shout out, we need to support Resist
and support not just with likes, but buy some books and read.
Yeah, them books be hard, son.
Man, like a lot of times, especially with the social media age, like folks will like the hell out of your post, but don't actually come spend no money.
Don't come spend no money.
Yeah.
Hey, no, you know what? We might have to get the owner to do some OnlyFans. He'll get some money then. I'm joking. I kid. Right? So what is the pull? How do we pull people into entrepreneurship and get them to give back, Kofi?
Man. So I think they've been in spurts. You know, I think there have been spurts where we've come together, but I don't think it's been sustained. I just was pulling up this app called Mariah. I think that's what it's called. It's a black-owned business app. It's kind of like an Amazon for black-owned businesses. I remember trying to use this before.
You said the package is gonna be late. No, I'm joking.
No, but honestly,
you said the package is not gonna show up.
It wasn't a diversity of. It was enough diversity of products on there. So like you'll look up. It's kind of branded like almost like a black-owned Amazon, but like Amazon is everything. You know, it's like.
So it's extra.
It's a whole lot of
gratuity and
it was a whole lot.
I'm joking.
It was a whole lot of T-shirts and candles on there.
All right.
No, it was other stuff. I'm not trying to knock it.
Any bean pies?
I did not. I didn't look for bean pies, but you know. But I mean, I think that's the type of thing that we do need. We do need to make it, to use technology to our advantage, to make it more, to make these brands and these products a little more accessible. Because there's a lot of good stuff. We don't need to necessarily go out and buy, white-owned products all the time. We do need to do the more supporting ourselves. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a joke. I know you was just kind of joking about some of the black-owned products, but like, you ever been like try to support a black-owned business and then been burnt by it? Like,
man,
I've
been burnt more than a hot cone.
That's the worst feeling, because I've done this. Like, we actually just a couple years ago we bought a house, and we another black contractor recommended somebody that he had worked with, another black contractor. So I was like, yeah, we it was kind of a quick turnaround. Long story short, he scammed us out of the money, and the whole time, and this is one of my red flags. From the time he met you, he just kept referring to me as his brother, like, you're my brother, I got you, my brother, and now when I hear that, I'm like, nah, man, my spidey senses start going off, because I've been burnt by people who have just been pushing that brotherhood thing a little bit too hard. But yeah, like that sucks when you have.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing to mess up. I'll give a black business grace. As a black business owner myself, like, look, sometimes you need a little bit of grace. Sometimes you don't have the same amount of resources. You don't have the same amount of experience, maybe, or whatever. The things that maybe you're not as ready as your white counterpart. So, like, I don't mind giving some grace, but when you find intentional deception and stuff like that, that's the stuff that really gets to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same here. I mean, but it's like, I remember this Nas album. I think it was Nas album named Nigga, but he put N or whatever. He had a song called "We Are Not Alone," right? And Nas can sometimes get super eccentric. He was talking about UFOs and all this stuff. And in that song, he said black people are teenagers of the world. And if you go back and listen to the line, he follows on with something like, we basically haven't been free long enough to really get there, but we know our potential. And I always think back to that line, is because, like, in every industry we do, and I'm not asking for an excuse, do we have the time in the industry do we have the knowledge in the industry to really be these experts of things? When you got families like the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, and their descendants that have operated at the highest level of society for so long, if those people looked at our bank accounts, even though we doing okay, I know you rich, I'm not, but
not at all.
you know,
Don't put that out there.
hey, I'm sorry, my bad. They would hang themselves. They saw our bank accounts, right? Right, and we're okay. You know, we're decent, but it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, we need to pull more people into entrepreneurship and collaboration if they want to be, and that way we can push out the resources and the benefits, because it's more to it than just here in America. There's knowledge to be shared across everywhere, and I think, talking about the knowledge being shared everywhere, you had a unique experience, I think, within the last year, right? Where you, and that's what the genesis of this podcast is, where you're looking to take people back to Africa through your travel business, right?
Correct.
So can you talk more about how you're collaborating on a global scale, where a lot of our people, they're operating local, but you went from local, regional, to now collaborating on a global scale. Can you talk more about Black entrepreneurship on that lane or that level?
So this is kind of going back to how you put yourself into your product. You know, like, so my journey was this. The genesis of this was really just my desire to reconnect with Africa and reconnect with my roots and learn more about my heritage. And after experiencing that myself, trying to create an avenue and a platform for other people to do the same. You know, so after going over there to Ghana, seeing, you know, Elmina Castle, going to the place of the last bath, and seeing all these places where you feel like you walked in your ancestors' footsteps, like, not ancestors, but you know what I mean. Like it definitely feels like you it's an experience like that other people of other races don't necessarily go through. And so, like, being able to create that experience and to create avenues for other people to have that same experience, it really just kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, business for us isn't just business in a lot of cases.
Exactly,
you know?
I agree with that.
It's culture, it's heritage, it's pride, it's part of us, you know. And so we pour more into it.
I'm Black, y'all.
Biggity.
I'm Black, y'all. I'm telling you. You know, and that's one thing that I would love to empower our people on and say, it's so much beyond you. I know it's easy to get wrapped up in you, get wrapped up in your children, get wrapped up in your family. But right now, I think where we're at as a society, I don't think Black people can afford just to be selfish. I think we gotta give in all facets of our being, you know. And not, yes, you can help your family out, but also if you can collaborate, right? Because who's to say you always have to be a charity case? Who's to say you can't collaborate and grow something bigger? I think when people say give, they always think about giving to somebody less fortunate. But you can give to somebody else who you exchange something else for, and you guys collaborate, and it becomes a bigger endeavor.
Right.
You know, people always think this sense of charity is, well, I'm giving to the less fortunate. No, if you own a restaurant and I own a t-shirt company, you could say, hey, look, I want you to furnish all my staff with gear, and guess what, man, you know, you can not eat for free, but you eat discounted, or you're helping my business, and then guess what, you can go online and say, hey, I got all my threads and gear for the restaurant to yada yada yada's you know, printing company. Right, that's an exchange of goods and services that doesn't have to be a charity case, because I think with Black people we have to understand that everything's not a charity case, right?
Yeah.
We need to change our lens of thought, because that's why history is important. We've had it, we've lost it, and now it's time to regain. You know. Yeah, man. So it's one of those things, man.
And if you are a Black business owner and somebody does support you, take care of them. Take care of them, because it's not a good feeling when somebody invests their hard-earned money in you and you don't cherish that.
Yeah.
You know, because especially with us, yeah, there are a lot of people do want to support you because they feel like they're doing something for the community.
Yeah, you don't have no cold food. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, turn the music down during brunch a little bit. Right? turn the music down. I know y'all want to say, take me through there, take me through there. I know y'all want to do the you know, the latest and greatest music. I'm for it, right? But I mean, just look. There's a time and place.
I miss regular brunch.
You miss regular brunch?
Can I just have?
You don't like turnt brunch. You don't like lit brunch. Why?
Golly.
Why?
I just want some chicken and waffles, man. I just want some chicken and waffles.
Come on, you missing out on a time where you can have.
I don't see anybody twerking next to me when I'm trying to eat my brunch. How do you even find the energy at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to be turned up?
Because I'm a heathen and I ain't going to church. Guess what? I had a hangover and I woke up at 10. I'm going to brunch. Now I'm about to smoke hookah and drink tequila shots. Yeah, that's what. Hey, it happens.
Oh,
you know.
God.
I mean, what? I mean, brunch is a culture now. Brunch is a culture. But you know what, though? I'll say this. And Kofi, you let me know if it's right, wrong, and different, right? We have to have the spirit of collectivism in black society today. That's what I wanted. You know what? When I was a little kid, I used to always say, I wish Santa could bring me something. Well, Santa, if you real, right, this is what I want you to bring us, right? I want black Santa, though. Could I have black Santa? I'll talk to white Santa later. I want us to start working together more. I think we're doing it, but we need to do it even more. Because during these times, right, I don't care who's president. It could be Trump, it could be Hillary, it could be Obama, it could be Biden, it could be Mitt Romney, for God's sakes, whoever's president, right? The times, we have to understand, even in the great times of this country, it's never great for us, it's just good. And in the bad times, it's even worse. If Santa is real, and I want black Santa, I'll talk to white Santa later. Shout out to white Santa. He my homeboy too. Right? All Santas matter. Right. Can I say that?
All Santa lives matter?
All Santa lives matter. Right? What I want for Christmas is, I want collectivism. I want all black people to work together. Because, let's be real, no matter who's president, it could be Obama, it could be Mitt Romney, it could be Biden, it could be Trump, it could be Hillary, it could be whoever's president. In the great times, it's only good for us. But in the bad times, it's even worse. So we need to have a spirit to work together in collaboration, because we're only 13% of the population, and it's been like that for damn near half a century. We haven't grown too much. I think we went up and down maybe 1 or 2%. So there's not more black people coming. And I need you to have more black babies too, but that's a different story. We need to work together to make sure we push each other up and we rise as a people. Because what's that old saying? A rising tide. Come on, help me out now.
Lift all ships.
Lift all ships, right? So,
word.
What, Kofi?
Support your black-owned business.
Like the one here, right? Resist booksellers. If you can't come in person, you can order online. Link in the bio and in the description, right? Whether you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or whatever you're getting this at or whatever, please make sure you check out the show notes and let us know how we're doing. Critique us, right? Nobody is going to bat an eye if you say, man, them Kofis, they don't know what they're talking about. We want the engagement. We definitely want the engagement. So, till next time, we love you all.
Oh, we got one more thing before we leave.
Go ahead.
The book of the day.
Go ahead. The book of the day,
which you can find here at Resist Booksellers, is How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney, who, by the way, is Guyanese.
Really?
So shout out to my Guyanese folks.
That is a good book. Do we have it here?
Yes. We do have it here. It is available. You can walk in right here at Resist Booksellers right now in Petersburg and get it.
And rewatch Boondocks. That's all I'm saying.
Try.
Yeah, rewatch Boondocks. It's culturally relevant.
I'll watch it
to
for
the
the
day.
first time.
Hey, look, we love y'all. And guess what? Season greetings. We'll holler at you later. Peace.
Bensound.com